What if we had infinite driving range for EVs? The range is one of the main reasons many people refuse to buy EVs. But what if they could have an infinite range? Yes, that's possible, and companies are working on this already. And you won't have to wait 100 years to see it in action. Let's find out on today's episode of Get Around How, your one-stop shop for everything vehicle. America is working quickly to make battery-powered cars the standard family car. In response, every major automaker, the party in charge of Congress, and the executive branch have promised to work with them to make it happen, whether in a year, 2 years, or even 5 or 10 years. It's like a train that can't be stopped. Initially, the old-school car manufacturers in the country were quaking in their boots while shaking their fists at Tesla, trying to convince us that big old gas engines are just cooler and better than EVs. But eventually, they realized, if you can't beat them, join them. However, there's a downside to this technological advancement. If we plan for every family to own an EV a few years from now, we have to solve the range problem. EVs can only go about half as far as gas-powered cars before they have to refuel. Also, the fact that gas stations are much more common than fast chargers is another reason why the EV range is always an important consideration for consumers. Your ability to complete your daily commute, get to the next public charging station, or avoid being stuck or stranded all depend on the driving range. But what happens if you miss a turn and have to wait until you get to the next one to charge? Well, you're probably screwed, but there's still hope. Range and battery technology are fundamentally interconnected. We all know that range will rise across the board as battery technology advances, and these new and improved batteries will also be cheaper. But there are more economical long-term solutions to this problem than getting better batteries. Why? Because the price of any model always increases with the size of the battery. Even if the overall cost of batteries is lower than it is today, there will always be a trade-off between the price of the car and the range. People will still have to compromise on one of them, and that's not ideal. Also, larger batteries would require more lithium to be mined for their production, which will in turn increase carbon emissions during construction. Outside being a danger to the environment, larger batteries are also very heavy. The heavier the battery, the heavier the car. The heavier the car, the harder it will be to control. And the harder it is to control, the more deadly the accidents caused by it will be. According to a survey, the chance of death increases 40 to 50% when hit by a vehicle that is 1,000 pounds heavier. Rather than focus on better batteries, why not tilt more in the direction of range expansion without relying on the battery itself? Major automakers, including the big guys in the game, Tesla and Mercedes, strive to offer the best range and battery charging times in the industry. Despite their efforts, people trying to decide which car to buy are staring at annoying and often confusing range comparison charts. This is because many EV producers push the boundaries of the normal EV range. There is no normal. There are extreme differences between companies and the models they offer. The typical electric car today has a range of 200 to 350 miles, but Lucid Group says screw that, with its Lucid Air Dream Edition range, which has an EPA estimated 520 miles of range. It's the most powerful electric car the EPA has ever certified. Meanwhile, Volvo Automobiles says it intends to increase the range of its vehicles and integrate the battery pack into the floor of the car by the middle of this decade when it launches its third generation of electric cars. It's no surprise Volvo is considering radical upgrades. People aren't exactly ditching their Teslas to buy electric Volvos. To reach 1,000 kilometers or around 621 miles of practical driving range, Volvo said it wants to surpass the 1,000 watt-hour per liter energy density milestone before the end of this decade. With just one charge, you could go from Cleveland, Ohio to places as far as Chattanooga, Tennessee. This might impress you and me, but some drivers will still say, nope, not enough. What if you wanted to drive straight from Cleveland to Sacramento without stopping to recharge? Or perhaps from Cleveland to Homer, Alaska? Even the EV generation that comes after the current generation may not be sufficient. So the intended Volvo still won't be enough for some people. Thus, our next question is, how much range will be enough? In the past few years, the range of EVs has increased significantly due to considerable advancements made with lithium-ion batteries, which is highly commendable. Look at Aptera Motors of San Diego. They now have a solar-powered car that offers an astounding 1,000 miles of range on a single charge. Yes, you heard that right, we said 1,000 miles. Surely that should be enough range, right? Yeah, no. EV range is like money, you can never have enough. What we need is an unlimited range. This way you would never have to worry about long-distance travel. Never. Thankfully, automakers are aware that many people have fears about EVs due to range concerns, known as range anxiety, and charging times. This is why they are working on building power stations to enable us, EV connoisseurs, reach all of our destinations no matter how far away. Wouldn't that be nice? The new power stations would service the eBPVs, offer all the conveniences, and be as plentiful and successful as a typical gas station. The battery pack of the vehicles would be instantly accessible and plug in and out like a cartridge. Specifically created automated equipment would quickly swap out the drained battery for a fully charged one. With a fully charged battery, the user could quickly and easily slide into a power station, park the car over the exchanging device, swipe their credit card at a nearby kiosk, and then ride off into the sunset. So you're thinking, great, this means we don't need unlimited range then, we'll get new batteries instead, but that's not how it works. The thing is, in this arrangement, the batteries belong to one of the power station service providers or the vehicle manufacturer rather than the car owner. You don't own the battery. Instead, you'll pay a deposit to buy the car, ensuring that the batteries will be taken care of while it's in your hands, or rather in your car. So unlimited EV driving range is still your best bet. Why? Because range anxiety is still a prevalent condition. People want to avoid finding themselves stuck on the side of the road with a dead battery. And it could be very nerve-wracking to drive while keeping one eye on the road and the other eye on the vehicle's battery percentage display. Instead of being forced to drive like a grandma to get the most miles out of a charge, increasing your EV's range sounds much better. So how realistic is this infinite charging setup, and how will it work? Testing with an electric Fiat New 500 has confirmed that in-road inductive charging will theoretically deliver an unlimited EV charging range. Tests to demonstrate an unlimited EV range have been conducted, so we know it's possible. The 5th largest manufacturer in the world has created and tested a charge-as-you-go drive system, a loop of Italian roads with wireless EV charging coils hidden below the surface, enabling electric cars to charge as they travel and achieve an unlimited range. The Arena DelFuturo project, located in Chiari, is about 30 minutes outside Milan in northern Italy. Stellantis, the parent company of Fiat, Maserati, Chrysler, Jeep, Peugeot, Opel, Ram, and many other brands, is a founding member of the project. This arena of the future was constructed to test various cutting-edge transportation technologies, including enhanced 5G connection, road surface enhancements, V2X communications, and Internet of Things concepts. However, its main objective was to evaluate and demonstrate a proof of concept for wireless on-road charging systems, such as Dynamic Wireless Power Transfer, or DWTP, technology from Stellantis. They lay down a series of pretty flat inductive charging coils and connect them to a power source. A few tiny grooves must be carved into the road surface before the DWTP can be installed. After that, more asphalt is placed on top. The DWPT system has several inductive charging coils buried beneath the asphalt. When turned on, the coils provide power to passing vehicles as long as they are equipped with receivers. It's interesting to note that it seems the energy is now delivered directly to the car's electric motor, so that the EVs above may travel at highway speeds without using any battery power at all. The DWTP system simply takes over the role of supplying energy rather than charging the battery. What's more, you don't have to wait too long to see it happen. All the initial tests have been completed, and its efficiency is quite similar to the normal efficiency rate of wrapping charging stations, according to Stellantis. The company claims that the related magnetic fields are safe for pedestrians to walk through and will not affect the driver and passengers. Running on DC enables the DWTP to connect to renewable energy sources directly and effectively without needing back and forth AC conversion, allowing for very thin, compact cable. We don't want to bore you with engineering technicalities, but the bottom line is that it works. Having an infinite driving range is feasible, and it can be done. However, the only unknown factor at the moment is if or when the DWTP system will be implemented on public roads. For a project like this to take off, there are several chicken and egg setbacks on the commercial scale. Sometimes, if handled poorly, it could even cost a fortune more than was initially planned and bring very little revenue back in. Just like the Microsoft Zune. Ah yes, the Zune. Microsoft spent a lot of time and energy trying to sell its MP3 player, but it simply never caught on. After several years of outrageous marketing efforts, it was finally discontinued in 2015. The infinite EV driving range dream won't become a reality unless implemented on very long, highly traveled highway stretches, unless drivers can be reasonably charged for their use, and until enough people purchase compatible cars to make it worthwhile for companies to invest in the wireless charging technology. But for now, at least we have something electric to look forward to. Sorry for the bad joke, we just got a jolt of excitement.